rev up your engines. Today I'm going to tell you why you should not buy a used car from a used car lot. Numero uno is they just charge too much money for their vehicles. Guys that are selling used cars, they're pros. They do it for a living. They want to squeeze every last dime out of the car. They have no personal involvement in it. It's just a used car they're selling. Generally, their commission is a percentage of the sales. The higher the price, the more money goes in their pocket. And generally, at the used car lots, they will go anywhere from 2 to 4 times what they actually paid for the vehicle that they're going to try to get you to pay. And being professional car salespeople, if they got a car they know sells, they'll wait until they get as much as they possibly can. If you're buying from a private individual, most people are in a hurry to get money. Cars are one of the few big liquid assets that you can get money fast for. And of course, when you buy a car from a used car lot, they often have a lot of back-end extras that they don't tell you about until it's too late. If you ever do go to a used car lot and you have no choice because you can't find what you want except there, ask them what the price of the car is, drive out. Not what they say it costs, and then they're going to add all this stuff. You want tax, title, license, any fees they have. I've seen some places add $900 or $1,000 of extra fees, including getting the registration in your name, dealer prep costs. There's all kinds of hidden things that they'll often stick in. And of course, a private individual isn't going to do that if they're selling you a car. So of course, price is a big deal. But reliability is also something that you got to think about. I know now they advertise all over the place. These used car lots will say, oh, check the Carfax. We have the Carfax on the vehicle. Well, all that does is pass responsibility on the Carfax, not on themselves. And from my experience, it's not that reliable anymore. If you've watched any of my other videos, I told about my old cameraman who had a Honda that he bought from a collision shop that had been totaled it 2 more times, and then when he was buying a used car just out of kicks, he Carfaxed it, and it said the car had never been in a wreck and had been totaled 3 times. I don't really trust that stuff anymore. And to add insult to injury, last week I had a customer, they were looking for a Toyota Corolla. They found one at a Ford dealer used car lot. So they brought it over here and the Ford dealer gave them the Carfax thing that said it hadn't been wrecked. Well, first thing I did was jack it up in the air and saw that all the plastic stuff on the undercarriage was ripped off, torn. Some of it, half of it was missing, and they cut the other half so it didn't drag on the ground anymore. And when I looked at the radiator support, I found that half of the latch was painted white and the other half was the factory black. Now this was a white Toyota. So obviously the car had been wrecked and repainted, but the Carfax said it had never been wrecked. And they had a stupid sticker right on the window that said as is, no warranty. So the Ford used car dealer there was doing a double protection. They put a little sticker on that says as is, no warranty. But they also handed Carfax that said it hadn't been in a wreck. So even you could show it was in a wreck and any fool could find that out. The Ford dealer just had to say, oh, look, our sticker said there's no warranty, that we didn't inspect it. But the Carfax said it wasn't wrecked. So if you want to sue somebody, sue Carfax because they told us it hadn't been wrecked. You really don't want to deal with any of this stuff when you're buying a used car. And on top of it all, they were asking an ungodly sum for this car. They wanted like $11,000 for a car that had 120,000 miles, had been wrecked, and even the body itself had a lot of paint chips on it because when they did the body work, it had been a while back because the paint didn't smell anymore. But a lot of the paint that they put on it chipped and flaked off, so they were asking an outrageous amount of money for a car that wasn't even in that good shape cosmetically. But here again, the Ford dealer, used car, they understood, hey, it's a Toyota Corolla. These things are easy to sell. Everybody wants them. And they're just stacking it up the highest they could possibly ask for it. Hope some fool pays that much. And if they don't, then over the course of weeks, they'll lower the price until somebody buys it. And of course, at most used car lots are trying to sell you these extended warranty packages. Now, Consumer Reports showed that in the United States, over 55% of the people who bought these policies never used them, never made a claim, yet the average cost was $1,300. So there's $1,300 that you'll never see again, and even if you need to use it. I had a customer, they had one of these, the engine went out, they tried to use it, and the warranty company said the engine was damaged when you bought it. We don't pay for pre-existing conditions, so they didn't get the engine repaired, which would have cost thousands of dollars for free, because they said, oh, that's a pre-existing condition, we don't pay for that. Now, of course, you want to have a mechanic like myself check out a used car before you buy it. That's the best insurance. But don't think that these warranty policies, which are just insurance policies, are going to cover all kinds of stuff, because then you're arguing with an insurance company, usually a relatively large one. They don't care about you. And are you really going to take them to court over something? They know how much money that costs, and if they deny a claim, take them to court, sure, but who wants to deal with that nonsense in the first place? And another reason not to buy from a used car dealer is a lot of them have these certified pre-owned cars that they certified. Well, who certified it? They certified it themselves. And that reminds me of one of the craziest things I ever saw. I had gone to a Toyota dealer for a customer who was buying a used car there. And I'm checking it out in the parking lot, and I find out that the thing is 2 quarts low on oil. So I told him, I said, well, my customer's not going to buy this car. It's an oil burner. It's 2 quarts low on oil. And this vehicle had a sign on it that said, certified pre-owned car. They told me, oh, well, we haven't serviced it yet. Don't worry, we're going to service it. Which I told them, it's too late now, buddy. I see the car's 2 quarts low on oil. That means it's burning oil. I looked around, it wasn't leaking. It was burning oil. Previous owner didn't take care of it. Now it's too late. The engine's been damaged, so my customer did not buy the car. And this was one that said certified pre-owned. You know, once they change the oil's clean, you're not going to know that it's an oil burner until you buy it, and then you're stuck with it. And even if you had some kind of warranty, I've seen these warranties, they say stuff like, well, guaranteed against excessive oil consumption. Well, what's excessive oil consumption to me? If I bought a car and it burns any oil, that's excessive. I don't want that car. All those things have so many exclusions they can get away with. Not a good idea to buy from these pros. You're buying a car from a professional at a used car lot. They paid anywhere from 30 to 50% generally are what they're selling it for. Well, they bought that from somebody. Why don't you buy it from somebody yourself and save? I actually used to know a guy that did that for a living. He told people that he would buy their new car, because he knew how to negotiate, so he could save a few thousand buying a new car for him, as long as they gave him their used car at the dealer trade-in value. So he got the cars at that price, which is cheap. Then mainly, he had a used car business where he would then take those cars he got cheap and sell them at a higher price at his used car lot. So buying from a private individual, hey, much better idea, really, because hey, when somebody needs money, cars that might go for $6,000 on the street, you go to say, what, to trade it in? Or I just want to trade the car and not buy another car like a CarMax? Ha, they're going to probably offer you $2 or $3 grand for the car. So when the shoe is on the other foot and you're buying a used car, take advantage of that and buy a good used car from a private individual. Because as I said, the dealers are professionals. They know how to make money selling cars. It's sort of like, you might think you're a good poker player. Well, take a trip to Las Vegas and play at a high roller stake poker game. They'll probably eat you alive because they're pros and they really know what they're doing. But I've had plenty of customers buy used cars from private individuals. Those people, the private individuals they bought them from, they don't know all that much about cars, and they just got tired of the car because, oh, well, they need to fix this and that, and they want another car. Now, I'm not saying you can get a Celica like this for $350 like I did. The customer was tired of the car, and yeah, the bumper was all yellow because she'd had it painted at high school, and it all came off. The paint, the yellow underneath was there, so I had to get my body guy to paint it and stuff. There are some deals out there in the real world, but you're not going to find them at dealerships. When I bought that Celica, then my son, who lived at home back then, he was going to college, he wanted a Celica too, so I started looking around. Well, comparable cars like mine that I bought for $350, they wanted like $9,500 at the Toyota dealer at their used car lot because, oh, it's a Celica, and even though it was 20 years old, oh, it's a sports car, and these are really good cars. And sure, I got a deal on this one for $350, but they're selling something for almost 30 times what I paid for this car. You're never going to get a real deal at one of these used car lots. They're pros. They know what they're doing. But if you have to buy from a used car lot, if you do one thing and one thing only, tell them you want to see a clean title. You don't want to get one that's a reconditioned title or salvage title. It meant the insurance company had totaled it, because they buy tons of those and then fix them as cheap as they can and sell them. Which is why I tell people, don't go to these car auctions either, unless you're a pro, because the pros at the car lots, they might go with 10 grand, they might buy 5 or 6 cars, and they might sell each one of them for $5,000 or $6,000, so even if they get 2 or 3 lemons, they're still making a whole bunch of money. But you're only buying one car at an auction. It's a lemon, you're stuck with it, so stay away from car auctions too if you're buying a used car that you can use as an everyday driver. So now you know why not to buy cars at a used car lot, because if you use your head, you can save a lot of money buying a used car. But don't try to play the game with the pros. They'll win and you'll lose. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.